Today we are going to be diving into Skyhub Studios.
Yeah, very cool topic.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting one, I think, for a lot of you filmmakers out there. So
It is.
we know you guys are always looking for resources and connections
Absolutely.
for your films and
Especially funding.
especially funding. Yeah.
Good show.
Hopefully this will be a really valuable one. So to start off, I think the thing that stuck out to me right away was how Skyhub Studios is trying to solve this really big problem, of just like the cost
Yeah.
of being a filmmaker in a place like Hollywood.
Exactly. And the problem is that maintaining a professional image, especially like you said, in a market like Hollywood, it can be so expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like ridiculously so.
Because, you have all these filmmakers who are so passionate.
Right.
And they're, working really hard.
Hustling.
Yeah. And they just want to find a space to work
They do.
that doesn't cost them an arm and a leg.
Yep.
And that also makes them look legit.
Yeah, gives them some credibility.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what's hard to find, especially in a place like Hollywood where real estate is so expensive.
And so many of the traditional workspaces are really geared towards,
The big guy.
the big studios and stuff. Yeah.
Huge studios.
Yeah. And so I think that's where Skyhub Studios coming in and trying to change things up a bit.
I agree. They offer these virtual office services, and they're specifically made for film industry professionals.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're really trying to solve this cost problem
Yeah.
for filmmakers. So they're starting at just $325 a month.
That's wild. $325 a month. I mean, that in itself is already like,
Eye-catching.
it is. And I think, it makes you wonder, well, what do you actually get for $325?
Yeah. What do you get?
So one of the things you get is a professional business address. And not just any business address. It's practically next door to like
The Walk of Fame.
the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, come on, that's like instant credibility.
It is. You can't beat that,
Yeah.
especially for that price.
Right.
You get that Hollywood address without having to
Shell out.
shell out thousands of dollars.
Yes, exactly.
For a real office space.
And it's not just about appearances. You also get, a receptionist service.
Well, yeah, that's huge.
Which is really important.
Especially when you're first starting out,
Yeah.
and you want to present this really professional image to clients and potential investors.
Right, exactly. It makes you look like you've got your act together, even if you're still, a one-man band
A one-man band.
or a one-woman band or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also, you have access to private meeting spaces,
Yeah.
which I think is so key
So valuable
for,
when you need to.
if you're doing like table reads
Yeah.
or just brainstorming sessions with your team or whatever,
You can,
have a space for that.
yeah, and if you need a bigger space
Yeah.
for like a larger meeting or event, they have conference rooms.
Yeah, they've got you covered.
Yeah, so
Oh.
thought of everything.
So that's really cool.
I think so.
And then on top of that, they also give you like a studio business email and phone extension.
Oh yeah, that's so important
I know.
for filmmakers.
I feel like that's like such a
Yeah.
huge signal in this industry.
Because it's like, do you have a business email
Right.
or is it just your personal
Are you just using like a Gmail?
Gmail or Yahoo account?
Exactly. Yeah. Or like some random
Yeah.
domain name
Totally.
you got for $5.
It really does.
Yeah. So it makes a huge
It
difference.
shows you're serious about your craft.
Yeah.
You're not just somebody with a camera and a dream.
You're like a legitimate business.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, that perception of professionalism can really make or break you
I agree.
when you're dealing with, potential investors and collaborators.
That's
Yeah, it's really important.
when you're trying to get funding for your projects, which
Yeah.
is something that,
Which brings us to our next point,
yes,
which is funding,
the big one,
the big elephant in the room.
the elephant in the room.
Yeah, so Skyhub Studios also offers exclusive discounts to industry events,
Yes,
which is pretty cool.
it's very cool.
So we're talking like film festivals, conferences, workshops.
The whole gamut.
Yeah, and you can imagine like rubbing shoulders with all these like industry veterans.
Yeah, all the big players.
And showcasing your work at like a fraction of the cost that it would normally cost.
A fraction of the cost.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's invaluable exposure. You can't beat that.
And I think that, speaking of funding, I feel like funding is like the
The make or break.
make or break, yeah, for so many filmmakers.
For so many filmmakers.
Like every filmmaker I know is constantly hustling and looking for money for their next project.
Absolutely.
And so how does Skyhub Studios like actually help with that?
Well, they've recognized that securing funding is often the biggest hurdle
Right.
for independent filmmakers. So they've actually built a network
Wow.
of investors, production partners, and funding sources. And these are people who are specifically interested in supporting independent projects.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So they're not just like giving you like, PDF with a bunch of names and like,
Good luck.
good luck. Yeah.
Have fun.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
They're actually working with you to
Connect you with the right people.
and help you with your business plan.
Yeah, to help you craft that killer investor pitch.
Yeah.
And even to facilitate strategic partnerships.
So it's really like a
Holistic. Yeah.
approach to funding.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because, it's really going above and beyond just providing a workspace.
It is.
It's actually fostering a community.
Totally.
And it's surrounding you with like all these other filmmakers
Like-minded
who
creatives.
understand your struggles.
Yes.
And, who have been there.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
And can like offer advice and
Absolute
support. Yeah, it's like a built-in support system.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's
Which is so crucial
really, really valuable.
in this industry.
So the way I see it is with SkyHub Studios, you're getting access to a space that elevates your professional image, provides you with all the essential resources that you need, and potentially opens doors to funding opportunities.
It does.
It's amazing.
I agree. I really do think that they're leveling the playing field for independent filmmakers.
Absolutely.
Who, might not have the connections or
Yeah.
the resources to get their projects off the ground.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool that they're doing this, and it's really innovative, and I think that,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
and they only have a limited number of memberships available.
Oh, that's smart.
I know, right?
To keep it like a close-knit community.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I would highly recommend, if you're listening and you are a filmmaker or a content creator,
Definitely.
I would highly recommend checking out their website.
Yeah.
It's skyhubstudios.com.
Easy enough.
Yeah, super easy.
Learn more, apply, and maybe this could be your launch pad to success.
Yeah,
So I think, overall, SkyHub Studios is a really intriguing concept,
it is.
especially for, filmmakers and creators who are feeling like the traditional Hollywood system
Out of reach.
just out of reach,
Untouchable.
And it's so cool that they're coming in and, offering this alternative.
I think so too.
It also makes you wonder, like, could this be the future for other creative industries as well?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question.
Right? Like, could we see this model applied to
Musicians.
musicians, writers,
Singers.
all these different fields?
Absolutely.
So,
Food for thought.
food for thought. That's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.